one of my favorite tracks is "The Children the Bombs Overlooked."
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much I love that track, and it made me think that maybe it could have been a good started song for the album. I don't know if you guys at some point considered that song to be at the beginning.
Mm, no, because pretty much the New Heaven, the song, had been around for a while because
Okay,
I'd come up with that first, and I thought it would be a very uh, ballsy, jarring, fucked up, and kind of funny way to start the record. Like that's the first thing you hear for the first 5 or 10 seconds or however
yeah,
long. So pretty much once that song was done, I knew that that was going to be the first song on the record.
okay. What I'm trying to say is that this song, "The Children of the Bombs Overlooked," it's also quite far out. I don't remember seeing something similar for the band before. Uh, the way of the vocals and also the structure in your drums, is very authentic in a way. What can you tell me about this song? I'm very curious about it.
So that song started with the drums.
Okay,
That was the two kind of main patterns that I'll call the chorus, where it goes back and forth between the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, the 7/8 part, and then the 6/8 or whatever you want to 3/4, whatever. I came up with those two patterns. I was like, oh, these sound cool together, and then came up with the riffs, and then uh, it just kind of snowballed from there, pretty much.
I know that your role in the band is bigger than just being the drummer, and I'm thinking if you enjoy also bands or albums that pay particular attention to the drums in the composition or in the structure.
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely. I feel like the drummer is the foundation of the band, and if the drummer sucks, the band's probably not going to be that great. Unless you're writing really killer songs and riffs, i.e., Metallica.
Right.
And and the drummer is not that great. Even though I love Lars Ulrich. Let's not, don't get me wrong. Um, but I mean, any classic metal band, as far as I'm concerned, always has a killer drummer. I feel like you just can't be a good band if you don't have a good drummer. So you kind of have to pay attention to what the drummer's doing, and even modern metal production, not really our record, but most new metal records, the fucking drums are just way up high in the mix, and you can't ignore them really. Whereas if you listen to like maybe an early Scorpions record or early Priest record, the drums are way further down in the mix. So yeah, I mean, but the short answer to that is yeah, I always pay attention to what's going on with the drums, whether I'm listening to fucking Death Symbolic or Blessed Are the Sick or whatever. It's I'm always I'm there for the riff, and if the
Right.
riff is cool, then I want to know what the drummer's doing.
So you don't question the drum unless the riffs are bad.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, well, in my experience, the music is great overall, but the drums are like a bit lacky, of punch. Like maybe I think it doesn't fit the right vibe. So I think there has to be the right approach. For example, in bands like Imperial Triumphant, Ulcerate, the music is very far out, and also the drums like excels to that level. And I think one example of that is also with you with Inter Arma. I don't know if you can give me some recent examples of bands that do like something that fascinates you in that regard.
Um, well, I mean, you just named one, Ulcerate. Uh,
Right.
as far as I'm concerned, Jamie is the best death metal drummer in the world. Period. No one fucking
Period.
touches. Trying to think. They're not. I mean, I guess they're kind of a metal band, but a drummer, who I feel like carries the band is Cody from Big Business, and now he's in High on Fire. His drumming, it's like what he's playing is a riff as well.
Okay.
And even though they're just a 2-piece, sometimes they're a 3-piece. It's just you can hear what he plays once and then like play it back because it's such an integral part of the song. Trying to think, there's definitely lots of guys. Man, you put me on the spot. Now I can't think of anybody.
That's cool. I mean, we did talk about Jamie, and I also think he's the best. Maybe he doesn't seem like that way. He doesn't agree with that. He's a very, serious guy, I think. I actually was talking to him a couple of months ago in an interview, and we discussed about how he developed his way of playing by going by paying attention to jazz musicians. Do you think this far in your career to keep developing your abilities as a drummer?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I practice by myself all the time. Excuse me. I've been working 40 hours a week, so that definitely puts a limit on how much I can practice by myself. But yeah, I'm always trying to push myself, even if it's just improving technique and improving speed. And even like I kind of have a routine where I'll play to a metronome for half hour to an hour, and then I'll just play by myself and just kind of see what happens. I mean, fuck, sometimes I'll sit down cold and just start playing. That's actually how Gardens in the Dark, that the drum beat was the first thing that came about in that song. I just sat down cold one day and started playing that, and I was like, oh shit, this sounds cool, and recorded it on my phone, and then yeah, came back to it a little bit later and built the rest of the song up around that. So I I definitely try to keep my technique sharp and my chops sharp, but also like I'll even do things, and we've done this in the past with songs where like I'll do something where I don't hit the snare drum. I'll only play the kicks and the toms and see what I can come up with, whether it's a pattern or some sort of idea off of that. Just like sort of setting parameters on myself and then seeing what sort of shit I can come up with within those parameters.
I actually was going to ask you, when you practice that much your instrument, it can grow like a muscle memory when you start playing the same over and over, maybe. And I was going to ask you about how do you avoid those sort of, maybe mistakes or bad things, creatively speaking, so you kind of maintain a playful attitude when it comes to writing songs.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things that I do. I mean, one of them is what I was just talking about, where I'll say, I'm not going to hit the snare, or I'm not going to hit the cymbals, or whatever, or I'm only going to use one foot, or just come up with some sort of idea and then see how many things I can do within that idea. But beyond that, I listen to all kinds of music. So I'll sit down behind the drum kit and play blast beats for a couple minutes, and then go into like a country music kind of shuffle thing. Not that I would never try to put that in an Inter Arma song, but just like if you just play things that are, something that's coming out of this area and something that's coming out of this area and so on and so forth. And you're not just playing blast beats and you're not just playing double bass the entire fucking time. It's gonna open up more creative avenues. At least that works for me. So that's one of the things I do. And I kind of even do that when I'm playing guitar too. Like I'll tune the guitar down into R tuning and play around, and then I'll tune it back up and play AC/DC songs, and then I'll turn on the clean channel and play country riffs, and you know I'll just kind of if you just if you stay in one area for too long, I feel like that's where you get into the rut.